If you're looking for the best dovetail jigs, here's a list you must see. We made this list based on our personal preference and sorted it based on the features, prices, quality, durability, and reputation of the manufacturers and customer feedback. Also, we've included options for every type of customer. So let's get started. At the first position of our list, we have PorterCable 4216. Users rave about this capable and burly dovetail jig from PorterCable, which offers versatile functionality for a wide variety of jigs at an extremely impressive price point. The jig is 12 inches wide, which users found to be the right width for the majority of woodworking projects. In addition, it boasts one of the widest thickness ranges of any jig we reviewed, second only to the model from Lee. The vise on the wood is extremely strong once engaged, thanks in part to the sandpaper-backed locking bars on the body of the jig. The jig is made entirely from machined steel with several durable plastic knobs, while the templates are machined from aluminum. This jig comes with 3 useful templates, including those for making half-blind, sliding, and through dovetails, as well as a third template for making miniature half-blind and through dovetails. The jig also comes with 4 router bits of different depths, which users appreciated, since it makes it simple to gauge the depth of the cut without having to make laborious measurements. Experienced woodworkers note that the jig lacks the extreme precision of more expensive jigs, like the model from Lee, but that it works well with some fine-tuning of the base. However, even perfectionists admitted that the jig is good for almost any household cabinetry projects where minuscule details are not essential to the joints fitting properly. Moving on to the next at number 2 with Lee Super 12 INCH Dovetail JIG. While you can find cheaper dovetail jigs in this class, the Lee Super 12-inch wins out regarding overall value. You're not only buying into a highly reputable brand, but part of the money you're spending goes into research and development. The result is the Lee E-Bush, which helps you work with precision while being very easy to adjust. Just like the PorterCable, the Lee Super 12-inch is incredibly versatile. Bits allow you to take care of half-blind dovetailing fuss-free. The one-piece fingers included make it possible to create templates for various joints regardless of how wide the board is. That finger assembly means you can make both 5/16 inch and 5/8 inch joints. You might think a dovetail jig with such a wide breadth of applications might be challenging to use, but the opposite is true. Once you've played around for a few minutes, you should be up and running with a very user-friendly experience. While you might not get the choice of templates of the PorterCable, this is a heavyweight dovetail jig suitable for just about any workshop. The number 3 position is held by KELLER Dovetail System 1351500 Journeyman. This extremely inexpensive dovetail jig from KELLER is about as simple as dovetail jigs come. Compared to other jigs we reviewed, this one is essentially just a template for your router with little other frames around it. That means you'll need a set of sturdy clamps to secure it to a workbench when using it, but with the right equipment, you can get it relatively stable. The advantage to this design is that the jig is not limited to a set width, even though the jig itself is only 15 inches in length. Instead, the jig can be moved down the length of any piece of wood, cutting additional pins as you go. The thickness is not as customizable, on the other hand, and is limited from 3/8 inch to 3/4 inch pins. This design is also highly durable, since there are almost no parts to warp or break, and the comb is made from a laminate rather than a metal that could be easily damaged by your router. Users love the documentation on this dovetail jig, which is especially helpful given its different design compared to typical jigs. However, they note that you will need to cut your own wooden block to hold the jig in place and to sit under the piece of wood you are cutting for stability. The jig is not designed for high-throughput workshops or the extreme precision of a jig like the one from Lee, but beginning woodworkers and hobbyists rave about how easy this jig makes it to get started with dovetail joints. Next at number 4 we have General Tools 861 Dovetail Jig. The General Tools 861 Dovetail Jig is our favorite budget-friendly model. It clocks in at well under the price of the other jigs on this list, even the likewise affordable PorterCable 4210. Yet despite the affordable price, this General Tools Dovetail Jig doesn't sacrifice quality or performance in the slightest. It cuts with accuracy, efficiency, and precision every time that you need to use it. Among the features that enables the overall cutting quality is the self-aligning design, which will keep your joints cut straight as an arrow. The one-piece aluminum design is another key feature. This woodworking tool is manufactured to last for the long haul. Despite the many benefits of this jig, it's important to note that it's for beginners only. It's not created with the rigors of daily use in mind. It's best for those that only occasionally plan to use a dovetail jig for projects that are few and far between. The number 5 position is held by Rockwell Complete Dovetail Jig. Our final dovetail jig is another customizable option, much like the PorterCable at the top of the list. However, this model is lighter and doesn't come with as many templates, making it ideal for hobbyists or woodworkers who only have to create specific joints. If you want the most versatility for your buck, then this jig won't provide as much customization as some of the others we've seen already. One thing that we like about this type of jig is that it makes it easy to hold your wood in place. Because you can clamp the wood into the system directly, you don't need extra clamps or vices to keep it all together. The width selection is between 1/2 and 3/4 inches, meaning that it will work for most pieces, although the range is not as wide as other units. Another feature we appreciate about this model is that it comes with 3 router bits. Thus, as long as you have a compatible router in your workshop, you should be ready to go as soon as this jig is out of the box. Simply clamp it to the table or workbench and adjust the depth accordingly. Swapping out the templates is easy, and they are both double-sided, giving you even more versatility when making your joints. The templates are also heavy-duty, which means that they will hold up after numerous cuts, and they should be able to create consistent cuts every time, allowing you to work more efficiently. Overall, if you want a jig that's simple to use and is self-contained, this model is a good choice. We also appreciate that it has a measuring guide on the jig itself, so that you can make sure you're making the right adjustments for each piece. The number 6 position is dominated by Woodstock D279612 INCH Dovetail Jig. As with all budget dovetail jigs, you'll run into some limitations with the Woodstock D2796, but the upside outweighs this dramatically. Fashioned from steel, this jig will grace your shop for years to come if you look after it. This does make it heavy, but in return, you'll get a stable and durable unit at a scarcely believable price. Many cheap dovetail jigs are sorely lacking on the clamping front. On the Woodstock, you'll get clamps in both directions, keeping your workpiece safely slotted in while you beaver away. The template is very easy to get set up, and it's made from aluminum with maximum durability in mind. If you're just starting out and not convinced how much use you'll get from your jig, this makes a great starting point. While not designed for professional use, woodworkers of most skill levels will find this user-friendly dovetail jig a steal at this price point. Moving on to the next at number 7 with NCLS 6406 Dovetail Machine. The NCLS 6406, like many budget products, is a flawed gem. On the one hand, you get a price suitable for just about any budget with no real compromise on build quality. Then, on the other hand, you get a single supported bit, and you'll also need a 5/8 inch router bushing, which does not come in the package. We have to say that overall this dovetail jig has significantly more in the black than the red, and makes great sense if you need to create strong joints for boxes without blowing your budget. While the template is not perfect, the advantage of this is the ability you'll enjoy making lengthier dovetail joints. Not suitable for pros or anyone looking for more bit support, the NCLS 6406 is a beginner-friendly and surprisingly flexible dovetail jointer at a price you'll love. The number 8 position is held by Lee Super 18 INCH Dovetail Machine. There's a reason Lee has such a vice-like grip on the dovetail jig market, and this supreme 18-inch machine further enhances their reputation. Everything from the clear, thoughtful instructions through build quality and attention to detail showcase the strengths of this hard-hitting brand. The Lee is not your cheapest option if you're looking for a dovetail jig. If you prize absolute accuracy and want a good deal of flexibility as well, this is a great choice. You won't be limited to a single depth and bit, so you'll be able to put the Lee through its pace and create a wide range of dovetail joints anytime you want. Some cheaper dovetail joints provide you with clamps that are barely fit for the most basic purpose. The cam action clamps and aluminum bars show you what effective clamping should do. You can focus on your project without worrying about any slippage. Next at number 9 we have Lee D4 or Pro Dovetail Router JIG. Not everyone wants the cheapest dovetail jig. If you've got a large budget and you're looking for equipment to last you a lifetime, the D4 or Pro is a strong contender for the best dovetail jig overall. It's common now to receive power tools and woodworking equipment with terribly unclear instructions. Not only do you get a comprehensive, user-friendly guide, but the written guide is also put together in such a way you shouldn't need the video. Adjustable guide fingers give you the latitude to make just about any joint pattern you can imagine. You'll be able to work with materials from 1/8 inch to 1¼ inches thick, so you're spoiled for choice. The Lee D4 or Pro would make a fine addition to any home workshop and wouldn't be at all out of place in a commercial backdrop either. If you can weather the price tag, treat yourself to one of the very best dovetail jigs money can buy. Finally, the number 10 position is dominated by General Tools 861 Pro Dovetailer 2. An unbeatable budget option, the General Tools Pro Dovetailer 2 is not perfect, but makes absolute sense if you're looking to dovetail without spending a fortune. You won't get any templates included, and you'll get just a single bit. Nevertheless, you'll still be able to press the Pro Dovetailer 2 into action for a variety of woodworking projects. Whether you're using this jig in a home workshop or on the job site, the aluminum build gives you durability in a highly portable piece of equipment. If you're clear about the kind of dovetail joints you want to make, this sturdy, self-aligning jig is a must. Don't let the price tag or the minor limitations of this dovetail jig fool you. You'll end up wondering why you ever even considered making dovetail joints by hand. That's all for today. We upload tech product review videos every single day. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for the upcoming video notification.